The Avengers radio series, a cultural phenomenon in South Africa back in the 1970s. South Africa was a country with no national television service. It wasn't until 1976 that the country would get its first taste of television broadcasts. But before that, radio was the primary medium of entertainment and information for the masses. This was the context when The Avengers, a British spy FI series, made its debut on South African radio and became a cultural phenomenon. The Avengers was a British television series that originally aired from 1961 to 1969. The show revolved around the adventures of John Steed, a suave and sophisticated secret agent, and his various female associates. The series was a unique blend of traditional spy thriller elements with science fiction and fantasy, which set it apart from other shows of its time. While the series was hugely popular in the UK and had also made a significant impact in the American markets, being one of the rare British series given a network transmission slot, it was virtually unknown in South Africa. This was primarily due to the lack of a national television service in the country until 1976. However, as a film series, The Avengers was able to gain some exposure in South Africa through film rentals. But it was the launch of the radio series that truly brought The Avengers to the masses in South Africa. Come and listen at www.myclassicradio.net. The Black Museum. Horror and mystery based on Scotland Yard's collection, Orson Welles was both host and narrator for stories of horror and mystery based on Scotland Yard's collection of murder weapons and various ordinary objects once associated with historical true crime cases. Walking through the museum, Welles would pause at one of the exhibits, and his description of an artifact served as a device to lead into a wryly narrated dramatized tale of a brutal murder or a vicious crime. In the United States, the series aired on the Mutual Network between January 1 and December 30, 1952. Beginning May 7, 1953, it was also broadcast over Radio Luxembourg, sponsored by the cleaning products Dreft and Miro. Since the BBC carried no commercials, Radio Luxembourg aired sponsored programs at night to England. In the United States, a program of similar scope, using many of the same picked cases as the Black Museum, and nearly mirroring its broadcast run, was broadcast by NBC called Whitehall 1212. The two shows were different in the respect that while Whitehall 1212 told the story of a case entirely from the point of view of the police starting from the crime scene, the Black Museum was more heavily dramatized and played out scenes of the actual murders and included scenes from the criminal's point of view. Come and listen at www.myclassicradio.net.
Now, don't go away, because next on CBS Radio's Comedy Time are those two zany characters of many characters, Bob and Ray.
And now, Bob, Elliott, and Ray Goulding present the CBS Radio Network.
We're going to present it good today, too.
That's right. And before we get much further into today's program, I want to wish everyone a wonderful, pleasant weekend. We'll see you all next Monday.
Oh, come on now. We did that a week and a half ago.
Boy, we threw everyone into a tailspin, didn't we?
We affected the whole economy of a great many people.
That's right. Nobody showed up for work on that Friday.
Executives around here couldn't get in. We locked the studio a day early.
And, of course, after the famous locking the door ceremony, those fellows take off for a weekend. So they had an extra long one. But really, this is Tuesday, and
we just wanted to see if you were alert the other day.
And you were. There's the bird again, huh?
Oh, he's back, yeah.
He looks pretty good. I guess he's through molding, right?
Yes, he's in full plumage now, and very, very set for the winter season. So I think our guest is here. You want to come over here, Grosvenor?
That's right. You remember several weeks ago, we designated Moose Gap, Indiana, Bob and Ray Honor City. Well, today we learned that the mayor of Moose Gap was in town, so we've invited him here to chat with us and to tell us what's happened since the city received that high honor. Welcome to our microphones, Mayor Ferdy Grosvenor.
Hello, Mr. Goulding.
No, right into the microphone, please.
Hello, Mr. Goulding.
Mayor Grosvenor, can you tell us what happened the day we named your town Moose Gap, the Honor City. What happened exactly?
Yes, well, there was this sign hung over the street that said, "Welcome to Moose Gap, home of grated cheese."
Home of what? Grated cheese?
Grated cheese. Well, we took it down right after we was named an Honor City, and we had Luella Banks sew in a carat mark before the word home, and then she sewed in the word honored on the bias.
Well, let's see. That would make the new sign read, "Welcome to Moose Gap, honored home of grated cheese."
That's right, Mr. Goulding, but it looked kind of makeshift, so we took the sign down and burned it.
I see.
Yeah, there was a lot of cutting up the day of the honor, too. Doc Markwell, the druggist, filled a lot of prescriptions wrong. Jay Fitzer, the mechanic, went crazy with his grease gun.
Have any changes taken place since Moose Gap was named the Bob and Ray Honor City, Mayor Grosvenor?
Well, because of the publicity Moose Gap got. When it was named Honor City, a lot of industry was attracted to the area.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, Mr. Mayor. I'm sure it'll herald a new era of unparalleled prosperity in Moose Gap.
Yes, 3 days after we got the honor, men and equipment came to Moose Gap, bulldozers going day and night, power shovels operating on double shifts.
Well, I'm certainly glad there was so much activity, Mayor Grosvenor.
It took them about 4 days to push Moose Gap off the map.
You mean Moose Gap is gone, sir?
That's right. It was pushed in a big jumble, a heap, you might say, down near the banks of the Washington River.
And Moose Gap?
Well, it ain't called Moose Gap no more. It's called Fever City because of all the activity going on there. You should see them steel workers fling them hot rivets around. A bunch of us down by the river got burned by it.
Well, gee, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Grosvenor.
Yeah, well, we wish the new industry had gone to Cleveland. They got lots of room there, I understand.
Well, gee, if there's anything we can do, I want you to...
Oh, no, I just stopped by to tell you what a thrill it was to be named an Honor City and the disaster area all in the same week.
And what do you call your little community down by the banks of the Washington River, Mayor Grosvenor?
We ain't quite decided on a name yet, but we got it narrowed down to two choices.
Yeah.
Tent City or Hobo Town.
Well, when a name is finally selected, would you permit us to designate it a Bob and Ray Honor City?
I don't think so. If you did, more industry might be attracted to the spot, and it wouldn't take but a minute for a bulldozer to shove us in the drink. I'm not here to talk about that, of course.
Oh, well, what is it you want to talk about?
I'm just here on behalf of the folks of what was once Moose Gap to thank you for having named us an Honor City.
And you're quite welcome, sir. And tell all the folks down at the banks of the Washington River not to be discouraged. If they put their backs to it and build docking facilities for 30 or 40 boats, they'll have a marina there.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming by, Mayor Ferdy Grosvenor.
Hola, amigo. You want to know about stereo phonographs? Listen to my last bullfight on ordinary stereo. Ole! But now, Columbia Stereo 1. There is a corrida de toros, real lifelike, magnifica. There is such a big difference in stereo phonographs. With most, all you get is a couple of speakers shooting in different directions. But with Columbia, hombre, you get fantastic stereo projection. What it does is to send circles of sound sweeping through every inch of a room. You are surrounded with live sound, live feeling, live passion. Ole! Ole! How they cheered me. Ask your Columbia phonograph dealer to demonstrate Stereo 1 by Columbia. Prices start as low as $39.95 for portables, $129.95 for consoles. Hey, picador! Who let that bull out?
It's a real comic Irish accent. Now then, Wally Ballou is standing by at Oyster Bay, Long Island, and he's covering the new oyster season. 1st of September, of course, oysters are back in season. Wally Ballou is standing by with a live microphone now, so come in, please, from Oyster Bay.
Microphone now. This is radio's Wally Ballou, standing in our bathysphere as we're being lowered to the floor of Oyster Bay. I say we because with me, in addition to the various technicians involved, is the noted fish expert, the piscatologist, Dr. Pierre Duvalier. And Dr. Duvalier, it's a real pleasure and an honor to be allowed to go down on this bathysphere.
Well, I'm very pleased. Very pleased you're
I was listening to you talk before we went on the air. I kind of picked up some of your idiom there.
Well, what we do now on it there is we was go down on top the bottom of the floor of the ocean here on the Sound.
I see.
We can take a look at the oysters and see what's make the starfish eat on them there. I mean, the starfish was come by and they was eat up the oysters.
I understand this is a big problem with the oyster growers. Is that right?
Well,
the fact the starfish come along.
the starfish on it there was come by and they was developed a long taze there for the oysters. Well, oysters are a delicacy and there's so much money invested by the people who invest in the oysters. They do not want these starfish what was come by and to eat up all the oysters.
Yes, we know all that. Now, you got your original training in Canada someplace, is that right?
That's right, on it there. I was clean up the whole situation up on top of Newfoundland on it there, and then I was come down on a long boat.
They have the same problem up there that you faced here in Oyster Bay?
There was habit till I come by. I was I used to specialize on the smells there.
Smell?
That's right, on it. And from that I was move up to the starfish there. They what I do now, I go to the oyster beds and is this leaking a little?
Yes, it seems to be 3 inches of yes, something the sea valves have opened, I believe, and water is now pouring into our
holy mackerel,
pouring into our atmosphere here. Charlie, on top there, on the surface, Charlie, it's time for us to be pulled out.
This is Charlie on the surface.
Hello,
Are
Charlie.
you having any difficulty?
No, only that the
Good.
bathysphere
Well, look, I'll
is...
be across the street in the bar and grill.
No,
And,
Charlie, you don't...
I'll be back in about 15 minutes.
Well, Charlie, you don't understand.
It's leaving down there okay.
Just
See ya.
hear me out, Charlie.
I think on it there we better cut through here and try to float to the top on it there. We're going to drown like the starfish.
I think it would be a very good idea.
I'm not kidding now. This is too serious on it there.
Water is now up to my neck, ladies and gentlemen, as we remove ourselves from the bathysphere and head for the surface above.
If we get any late news on that, we'll be sure to
We better get
you
late news on that. We ought to check back on them, I think. Find out. Right now, if we have important news about fast relief for cold misery.
You know, Bob, that kind of news is always important, especially when it comes from 4-way cold tablets.
Meet lovely Hollywood star Mona Freeman.
Hello. All of us in motion pictures simply dread colds. Imagine trying to give a top performance with head and body aching and that awful feverish feeling. I have to fight cold miseries fast.
How do you do that, Miss Freeman?
At the first sign of a cold, I take marvelous 4-way cold tablets. 4-way's the fast way to relieve cold distress, even of nasty virus colds.
You're right. Clinical tests of all the leading cold tablets proved 4-way fastest acting. In minutes, 4-way's exclusive formula speeds wonderful pain reliever into your bloodstream and all through your body. In the same time, the other leading brands showed no trace of pain-relieving medicines. None of the other leading cold tablets, only 4-way, started so fast to relieve all these cold miseries.
Relieves muscular pains, headache,
Reduces fever.
calms upset stomach.
Also overcomes irregularity. Get 4-way cold tablets today, the fast way to relieve those nasty cold miseries so you begin to feel better right away. 4-way, only 29 cents.
A while back, we thought we'd try an experiment.
So last week, right outside the entrance to the Bob and Ray studio, we placed a tape recorder on a table
With the microphone displayed prominently.
knowing full well that people would find talking into a microphone hard to resist.
And they did find it hard to resist. So now we're going to listen to just what the folks had to say. You all set, Ray?
Yeah, just about.
All right, let's spin it, Joe.
Hello, my name is Jesse Pell. You'd be surprised at what I do. I'm a foreman. Well, come to think of it, that's not so surprising. I worked hard for the job. Tell you, though,
I don't like the job.
Is that all of it, Ray?
I don't know yet.
Maybe he's pausing.
I'd like to chuck it. On the road to Mandalay, where the flying fishes play and the dawn comes up like thunder. I might go into showbiz, make an album. Ring the bell with Jesse Powell. Amapola.
I think we've had enough of Mr. Pell. Let's move the tape ahead a bit, Ray, huh?
Okay.
Well, let's see what the news is like tonight. I asked this word from one of the smoke-filled cactus rooms in Washington.
Do you want to listen to this man's made-up news?
No, move the tape further along.
Well, go on, Jim. Say something.
Well, wait a minute, Hal. You introduce me. Introduce me, I'll show you what I can do.
Well, what do I introduce you as, Jim?
Introduce me as the old groaner. Do me a favor, introduce me as the old groaner. Go ahead, Hal.
Well, what do I say in the introduction? I mean, do you want me to make one up?
Yeah, make one up. But put it in, I'm the old groaner.
All right. And here he is, the old groaner. How's that?
Great. All right, now, I'm the old groaner. Hi, everybody. It's a real pleasure for old Pops to be back again this season. Well, look here, it's all ski-nose. Well, hello, all ski-nose. You're looking just fine, just fine. Take it from me, old ski-nose.
Hey, Jim, you know, you stink, really.
Something else should be coming up there shortly.
Well, I hope so.
Hillary Stutz wears contact lenses.
I am Amanda Pierce from Larchmont, and I have quite an extensive background in bookkeeping.
When history is written, Harry Truman will be recognized not only as a fine president, but as a peppery old man.
You can get lint off a record by holding it over a hot flame.
I'd like to thank New York City for putting ashtrays in the streets. My wife spends most of her time away from home emptying them.
I think that's about all the time we should spend on this, Bob.
You want to put the tape recorder back on the table?
Public pulse-wise, yes. We learned quite a bit from those comments.
Certainly did. We have just about time now to get ready for our preview of tomorrow, and we will have the voice of a mystery celebrity in just 10 seconds.
And now the voice of our mystery celebrity.
It's a family case, folks. And I just want to put my 2 cents worth in.
Right. Until tomorrow, then, this is Ray Goulding reminding you all to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumb.
This is the CBS Radio Network.